Hi friend, this is David from Learn Christmas Lighting, and in this video I want to show you how to map the xLights around the world sequences to your xLights show, okay, your Christmas lighting show. And so this is going to vary a little bit, but just for those who aren't familiar, xLights around the world is a project that happens every year. This is the 2020 version, where they put out a song or two, in this case this year and probably for the future, where some really awesome professional sequencers go ahead and sequence on this demo house a couple different songs, okay? In this case. This year, it's very punk rock, and I dig that. But no matter what type of music you like, it's really fun to download this free, really professionally done sequence and place it on your house. And so in this video, I just want to show you how to do that if you've never done this before, okay? So in xLights, the first thing you want to do in the current versions is you want to go ahead and do change temporarily for the show directory. What we're going to do here first is we're just going to go to the downloaded file that we've unzipped, okay? I'll just do the Christmas every day. And we're going to select that folder, okay? Now we go ahead, we check, okay, we've got a layout. Then we can go to the sequencer, open up our sequence. It is an XSQ file. Now, if you have an older version of xLights, you may be able to rename that to a .xml. Sometime, I believe in 2019 is when they changed that file type, but it's really just the extension from what I understand. But again, your mileage may vary. So then this comes up and it says, okay, you need the song. So you do have to buy the song. That's important because they can't just give away somebody else's music freely. So you go ahead and locate the media. Now, what I did is I just went in my downloads, I downloaded it. And this one is the Christmas Every Day, I believe, hopefully. And I downloaded the song and I put it in there. All right, you can do the same. Yep, okay, that's the right song. Cool. And there's this button for downloading. Boom. We'll leave everything. Now, I did download it from Amazon, which is where they directed it to. Theoretically, you could potentially, if you bought it from somewhere else, have a slightly different length to the song. I doubt that would happen, but you never know. All right, and so then we've got a number of things. I'm all docked in one window here, and so I'm going to go ahead and find the house preview. And I'm also going to go ahead, because this is huge, I'm going to mute my audio, and I believe, you know, it's not going to render on the fly because this is a big sequence, even on a good computer like mine. So I'm going to hit save, Control S, let it do its deal, so it's going to render it all out here. And when I come back, I will find under view my house preview, drag it over, and we'll take a look at it. All right, so what I did, kind of the shortcut to, for some reason I couldn't find that window even when I went view and found the window. I just go to Windows here, reset to defaults, and then I dragged my house preview over here to make it a little bit bigger, and I close my other one. Again, none of this is essential. That part's not, but it's just so I can be able to see the house. And now I can play this thing. I've got my sound muted. Oops, thought I had my sound muted. And we can see this thing playing away. And so everything looks great, woohoo. So now let's take a look at the things we've got here. So the whole point of opening the sequence temporarily from the sequence folder is to take a look at it and to take a look at their different groups and their different models and how that might line up to your house, okay? Now, keep in mind, there's things like in here, the things I note most is, you know, there's things like the entire display, the entire house perimeter face, stuff like that you probably have in your house. But there's other things like maybe you don't have singing bulbs, right? But the cool thing is that there is a regular singing faces, and then there's a Megatree singing faces and a Matrix singing faces. So even if you don't make use of the bulbs, you know, the cool thing about importing a sequence is there's things like here, you know, the arches and the outlines do the same thing at a lot of the times. And so that means if you don't have one of these items, it will still probably look complete. But the goal here is to kind of take a look at what they're doing on all these, see how it might look best in your display, and maybe jot down some notes about, okay, you know, this is the name of their group or their particular prop, and this is what I would match it to in my display. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead, we're going to restart xLights because we had done the temporary change. I'm not going to save anything. Open her back up. And so as long as you did change temporarily, that means when it opens back up, you're going to be brought back to your layout. And indeed I am. Okay, this is a demo layout that I use inside of Learn Christmas Lighting Academy. And so now we go ahead to New Sequence, Musical Sequence, find the audio. Again, this is what you would do if you were making a normal sequence. And so we were doing Christmas every day. Choose the FPS, which I don't think it has to match up. So I'm just going to go with 20 frames per second. Then we're going to go ahead, all models, quick start. And we have nothing, right? All right, so now that we've brought in that audio file, we need to bring in the other person's sequence, in this case, xLights around the world. So we'll go import effects, and we want to find the sequence file. So I'm in the folder for it that's in my downloads. If you were doing this for real, I would move it to your xLights folder, the whole folder. And here we want to switch the file type to XSQ because that's the type we got here. Double click on that. And so here we have the ability to match up basically their stuff with our stuff, okay? And so our stuff, meaning what's in your setup, what's in your layout of your show, is in here. And their stuff is over here, okay? And so what that looks like basically is we go ahead and you're going to go ahead and drag these ones that are under available to your models, okay? And watch what happens when we do that. So we go entire display, I go to my all group, okay? And we see here now we get that our model all maps to their all display, and it grays out here. Let me go ahead and do the rest of these. All right, now for this particular show, I don't have a super complex layout, and so what's going to happen here is I don't use everything that they have, but like I mentioned when we were looking at their layout, you know, you don't have to match everything up with something on yours. And so in here with all my different groups and things, I have something at least on every prop here. And so I'm in a place now where I can go ahead and let me adjust that here. Yeah, I want the chroma flakes to match up to their snowflakes. Perfect. Okay. So I'm in the place here where I'm good to go, and I can now go ahead and press save mapping. Okay. Now we can go ahead and press save. This is within the folder of the sequence, so you don't need to name it anything special. Awesome. And now we can go ahead and press OK. Now we see the magic happens. Okay, we've got our stuff. So let me mute my audio again, and then we're going to go ahead and play this. And so first thing we see is we got nothing because our computer's trying to keep up. So we'll suspend render. We'll save the sequence, and that's going to force a render. As we let the render happen, we'll wait. Cue Jeopardy music. And now we're good to go. Awesome. So let's go ahead and play this. I'm just going to start in the middle. So now we can see if we drag this out. We now see their sequence roughly on our house, right? On your house. Okay, whatever that would be. And so now here's the point where you start to tweak things, because you can see some things look a little funny. Like my snowflakes, you know what, they don't look the best. And so I can delve in there and take a look and say, okay, what's so funky about these snowflakes? Well, you know, there are 3 layers, and, you know, maybe I'm not going to use all of those. Maybe I am. It looks like there's kind of 2 sets, and my second flake and my fourth flake should be doing the same thing, but they're doing different things. So let's see if we can take a look into that and see what's going on here. So it looks like we've got some groups here. Yeah, some layers maybe. And so this is where, you know, I'm going to say, you know what? I would rather just have them all do the same thing. And so I'm just going to select all these effects right here for the whole song, and then select this other layer, save, and see if that clears things up. It probably will, or else at worst I'll just copy this flake down to that flake. The general gist here is just to watch stuff and just optimize what they've done for your house. I mean, sure, you can absolutely leave it how it is when you drag it in at first. And you know what? You're going to have a pretty darn good sequence. But if we tweak things around a little bit to fit our layout just a little bit better, we can get some more out of it. And so that's my goal here, is just to encourage you guys to do that, encourage you guys to have fun. The cool thing about this, of course, is that they give us a totally free professional sequence that we get to play around with on our house, and we have to do very little work. You see there, I've got my snowflakes are now happy. They all do the same thing again. Life is just dandy. And so there's definitely maybe a few more things I would adjust on here, but I'm pretty happy with how it is. And so at that point, I'd go save it, put it in my show, of course, take a video and submit it to xLights around the world. I'll make sure to have the links to xLights around the world below here. And thank you for watching. Subscribe if you found this interesting, and we'll see you in our next video here on Lawyer and Christmas Lighting.